That's how we're doing it there. Okay, that's enough thumbnail bullshit. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Blizzard Reviews. Today we're taking a dive into a new album from a local Philly band who put out probably one of my favorite independent releases of this year. Before we get into that, I want to make sure you guys go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're leaving comments down below so we keep up with the fan engagement. Let me know what you guys are thinking of these reviews. And make sure you're also following me on TikTok and Instagram too, so to keep up with all my daily schematics and shenanigans as well. So today we're taking a deep dive. We're actually going to be taking a deep crawl. We're going to be dungeon crawling through our way through the new release from Skullovich called The Age of Steel, out now. So Skullovich is a four-piece traditional heavy metal band with a lot of influence from proto-black and new wave of British heavy metal alike. They started back in 2022 and put out a couple of lead demos. I actually have them right here. So they put out a couple of demos early on in their career. They had their Storm Approaches as well as Flames of Chaos on their first demo. And on their second demo, they have Keeper of the Fate, The Nightmare, and Death Dealer. Later on, they would go on to release their 7-inch Under a Spell, which is also one of my favorite songs off of this album, and also with the B-side of Dungeon Crawl and Game Over. So a lot of this album is compromised from those demos, but they're much more finer retouched and retuned with the joining of Josh Shifris onto drums. The band is really to go and expand even more on this album. I recently did an interview with the band. They had opened for Overkill in Philly in late October, and I was very honored to give the guys an interview to talk to them about the new album a little bit. So if you want to hear more things from them, go check out that interview. But I want to dive a little bit into this album just as a whole constructually. I definitely think that this album is very highly influenced with a lot of the early proto-blacks that you would hear in Slayer and Bathory and Venom, in earlier new wave of British heavy metal influences with either Saxon or Iron Maiden or Judas Priest, but very much all around a way for them to give themselves an identity of their own. The band utilizes a lot of reverb in these to give it that more darker, hollower sounding sounds that are very reminiscent of a Show No Mercy, but also be able to have these really fun style riffs to where you can just whip out a D20 and just start your own fantasy dungeon raid. This album really has a lot of just the Conan the Barbarian style stuff, a lot of warrior talking, a lot of very much chanty type of stuff that is very reminiscent of an Eternal Champion or a Asirith Ungol. But I would definitely feel like the band's strongest points are with their choruses and with their battle cry, war rallying chants that bring everything together, like in the song Keeper of Fate, with lyrics like, I am the master, I am the deceiver, I am the keeper of fate, I am the sinner, I am the killer, I am the bringer of death. Really kind of just shows the band's just drives in just catchiness and hooks that are very much so that you would hear in a lot of, Iron Maiden or a lot of earlier forms of traditional heavy metal. The band's sound is also dived out too a little bit more while showing off a lot of the band's skills with those twin dueling guitars, like in songs like Under a Spell, for example. Very painting the picture of what is really happening and bringing you into this sort of fantasy world. And that's one of the things that this album really shines a lot on. It does kind of tell a story of like a Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings style sort of comic in a sense, where you kind of can see yourself like transported into this alternate reality where knights and dragons rule. It's a very fun listen. It's an incredible listen. It's a very reminiscent of a lot of that. Not necessarily, I would say, like a Manowar sort of thing with power metal, but the power metal influences are in there a little bit, but very much reliant on a lot of early thrash metal, early proto-black. The band did a series kind of talking about their influences from King Diamond to Overkill to Slayer to Judas Priest to Iron Maiden. So highly recommend looking into the deep dive that they've done on their channel as well. The album closes with the track Dungeon Crawler / Game Over, kind of having a nice sort of everything is starting to settle. The battle is finally over. You have claimed victory in this epic climax to whatever sort of plot lore it may be. You know, anything of killing dragons and that sort of nature. The band's able to use a lot of their instruments very wellly as well, too, kind of giving everybody a little bit of a shine in different parts of the album, whether it be a bass solo, a drum solo, or, you know, that really cool dueling guitar magic that sounds a lot like, you know, Seventh Son era Iron Maiden, or even reminiscent to like Exciter's Heavy Metal Maniac, kind of just showing that rawness. I would definitely put this as one of my favorite albums released locally this year. I know there's a plethora of other albums that have already come out this year in my local Philly area scene, but I really wanted to shine this one especially because Chevy is one of my best friends, and he has kind of been sort of like the gateway into my leanings into more heavier styles of metal, whether that be thrash, death, extreme, or whatever it may be. But he has definitely worked very hard on this, and this is definitely a sort of, you know, a love letter, say, to him in just our friendship, but also his growth as a musician as well. And also with Sean, Jose, and Josh, all incredible musicians, very talented, very gifted. I wanted everybody to kind of hear this album and make sure everybody hears about them and get on the bandwagon early, I guess you could say. Overall, I definitely think this is a very strong album. One of my personal favorite debut albums of this year. I would give this probably an 8.5 out of 10. Just in catchiness, in hooks, in riffing, in lyrical content. Just a really good Sword and Shield record. Very bare bones, very fun, very chanty, very easy listening to, but also good. It's got earworms. I've been having the interlude for Keeper of Fate stuck in my head for like the past week now. Very chanty, very rah-rah, but not in the weird rah-rah, like actual like Conan the Barbarian-esque style, you know, sort of type of shit. Nah, I definitely think some of the strongest tracks on this album definitely being By This Axe I Rule. Very fun intro with just a really cool sort of like, I guess, sort of Anthraxy style, like Indians in a sense, getting the listener tuned into the mood of the album, of the song, with that single in particular. All right, so thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys go pick up Skullovich's new album, The Age of Steel, out now on Bandcamp at skullovich.bandcamp.com. So go pick the album up on there digitally. Go get it on CD. Go stream it on Spotify. Pick up vinyl. Pick up merch. Go and support this band. And you have a lot of really good things coming ahead in their future. Let me know what you guys think of this album down below. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and also go check out my interview with the guys in Skullovich. It was an absolute blast, and we had a lot of fun with it, and they are just some of the best guys out there working their asses off, and really want to give them some love for this. So this is for them truly. Thank you guys for just always believing in me as much as I believe in you guys. Keep listening to Skullovich. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.